Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about a language you definitely think you know, English. But you know what? There's a huge common misunderstanding about its place in the world, and we're about to turn that idea completely on its head.
So let me just ask you straight up, what do you think is the most spoken language on the entire planet? I'm willing to bet most people's gut reaction is English, right? Well, the real answer is actually a little more complex, and honestly, a lot more interesting than that. You see, if we're only counting native speakers, so people who grew up with it as their first language, English isn't number one. It's not even number two. It actually comes in third. Mandarin Chinese is the undisputed champ with almost 1 billion speakers, and Spanish is comfortably in second place.
But, and this is a huge but, here's where everything flips. The moment we change the question and ask about total speakers, the whole picture changes. English doesn't just win, it absolutely skyrockets into first place with a mind-blowing 1.5 billion speakers. That means over 1 billion people speak English as a second language. Just think about that for a second. Now that massive number is no accident. It's happened because English has become the world's lingua franca, the default bridge language for really important stuff like global business, science, and pretty much all of modern technology. It's the common ground that lets people from totally different cultures connect. So the big question is, how? How on earth did this language from a pretty small island become the entire world's go-to tool for communication? Well, the secret is in its kind of messy, but really unique history, which accidentally created a language that is just incredibly adaptable. Okay, so super quick history lesson. English started out with Germanic roots, but over the centuries, it just became this amazing hybrid. It soaked up huge amounts of words from Latin and French, and this mix of influences made it super flexible and, most importantly, really open to new words, a trait that would basically become its superpower. And that whole history of borrowing and adapting leads us to one of its most incredible features today. English is often called the world's only truly live or dynamic language, simply because it's always changing, always absorbing, and always inventing new words at a pace that's just, well, it's wild.
And I mean, the scale of this evolution is just staggering. We're not talking about a few new slang words here and there. The Oxford English Dictionary, which is kind of like the official scorekeeper for the language, adds hundreds of new words every single year. English is truly alive. Of course, there's a flip side. For anyone trying to learn English, this never-ending growth and this gigantic vocabulary, well, it can feel completely overwhelming. It's like trying to climb a mountain that just keeps getting taller the higher you go.
And let's put a number on that mountain, shall we? The Oxford English Dictionary lists over 170,000 words that are in current use. I mean, wow. It's no wonder learners feel so intimidated. Who could possibly memorize all of that?
But what if I told you that huge number is actually really misleading? What if the real number of words you need to communicate to really get by is just a tiny, tiny fraction of that total? The truth is so much more encouraging. For everyday conversation, for watching movies, for getting your point across, you really only need about 3,000 words. That's it. Suddenly that giant, scary mountain starts to look a whole lot more like a hill you can actually climb, right?
Okay, so this brings us to something so important. The goal isn't knowing every word in the dictionary. It's about being fluent. But there are so many discouraging myths out there about what fluency even is. So let's bust a few of them, shall we?
So here are some of the big ones you hear all the time: that you need private school, or that your grammar has to be perfect, or that you need a specific accent. We're going to tackle a few of the most damaging ones right now.
All right, let's start with the biggest one. The idea that fluent people are perfect is just completely false. Fluency is about communication, not perfection. I mean, think about how you speak your own native language. You probably use shortcuts, slang, and yeah, you make mistakes sometimes. The goal is just to be understood, not to be flawless.
Next up, cramming. Sitting there and trying to memorize long lists of words out of a dictionary is probably one of the worst ways to learn. Why? Because words need context. It is so much more powerful to learn just a few words and really understand how to use them in a real sentence. It's kind of like the difference between knowing all the parts of an engine versus actually knowing how to drive the car.
And finally, let's talk about the accent myth. Look, with 1.5 billion speakers, English is a global language. It belongs to everyone who uses it now.
A Singaporean accent, a Nigerian accent, a German accent, they're all perfectly valid ways to speak English. The only thing that truly matters is being clear, not trying to sound like you're from London or LA.
So if trying to be perfect and cramming vocabulary are the wrong way to go, then what's the right way? Well, it's not some magic secret. It's actually a really simple, balanced framework.
Real, lasting improvement is built on 4 pillars. You've got to read so you can absorb how sentences are built. You've got to listen so you can understand the natural rhythm. You have to speak, even if you're nervous, to actually practice communicating. And you need to write to organize your thoughts. They all hold each other up. If you ignore one, the whole thing gets wobbly.
And really, that's the main takeaway here. The journey to fluency is not a hunt for perfection. It's about taking a comprehensive, balanced approach. It's about patiently and consistently working on those 4 key skills, not chasing some impossible ideal.
So, I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. We've seen that English is this living, breathing thing, constantly evolving and being shaped by its 1.5 billion speakers around the globe. So, what do you think it's going to sound like in another 100 years? What new ideas and new cultures will change it next?